Hi folks, good morning and welcome to This Week in Ferrum Baseball. I'm your host Gary Holden. With me is our head baseball coach Ryan Brittle. Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Gary. I'm smiling today.
Yeah. We all know that you have some bad news, some reasons not to be smiling and everything, but
sure.
sometimes the cards fall in your favor, sometimes they don't.
That's right.
Let's before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about backing up to our last activity of the year so far. You guys came back. Since the last show, you've had 4 more games. You had Emory and Henry on the road, Roanoke College at home, and then North Carolina Wesleyan on the road. So you had to play 3 out of 4 games on the road. Came back with 2 wins. Let's talk a little bit about that week first.
Sure. We went down to Emory and Henry, and we ended up losing the ball game 7-5. We had a pretty good outing on the mound from Brandon Turner, who's a freshman lefty for us, and it was a disappointing loss that day. I was very disappointed, but the effort was there. It's always been there all year. The effort was there. Things just didn't go our way, and didn't score enough runs, or didn't hold them to few enough runs in order to win the ball game. So we came back the following night on senior night against Roanoke and played a really good ball game. We swung the bats really well. One of the few games in the last couple months where we actually stayed inside the ball, hit some ground balls the other way for base hits, and then got some big hits, doubles into gaps, things like that.
Great night for your seniors to go out with a win like that on their home field.
Good night for those guys. Great to be able to honor the seniors here on our field and in front of a good crowd, and thankful for all the parents who were able to come and see that. We won 12-8 that night, and headed down to North Carolina Wesleyan the following afternoon, and Jake Perkins and Dylan Weaver were on the mound for the weekend. Man, what a crazy day. We actually Jake was throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings, and ended up giving up 2 infield hits in the 7th with a couple hit batters in there. It was kind of a crazy 7th inning, but anyway, we ended up losing that game 2-1. Jake pitched great.
That was his last time on the mound for you.
Last time on the mound as a Ferrum Panther, and he pitched great. We didn't swing the bats particularly well in the first game, and ended up losing that game. Came back in the second game, and Dylan Weaver pretty much matched him. He threw a complete game shutout. We actually only gave up 4 hits in the whole day.
I saw that, yeah.
We lost the first game and won the second game 10-0, swung the bats a little bit better, and ended our season down at North Carolina Wesleyan.
And you played 2 7s as opposed to a traditional 2 9s, because even though it was a conference opponent, it was not included as a conference game because it was played after the conference season.
Correct.
The conference tournament was done.
Correct. And North Carolina Wesleyan's a good team.
Sure.
They've had a good year. We finished up 29-14, which 30 wins is always a goal for us. And to finish up 1 shy is a little bit disappointing, but can't let that take away from the great year that we've had.
Oh, sure.
And from all the hard work that all of our young men have put into this year. 29
wins, USA South regular season title. You beat the number 8, 9, 10, 11 team, Frostburg State. You beat Piedmont twice, which at the time was ranked in the top 30 in the nation. So yeah, I think the guys got a lot to hang their hats on. It was a great season. Of course, it doesn't help the hurt of when you don't get into the NCAA playoffs and everything. And
right.
let's talk a little bit about that. What have you heard so far?
Sure. So for everybody that doesn't know, I'm privileged enough to have been selected to be on the regional advisory committee.
South region.
For the South region. What that consists of is there's a representative from each conference in our region. There's 4 conferences: the ODAC, the Southern, the USA South, and the Capital. So there's 1 coach from each conference that represents, that's on that board. And what we do is we rank the teams within our region. And that ranking will go out to the national committee, and then they will select, from that ranking, they will select who gets chosen for the postseason, for regional play. So we went through the rankings this past week, and we just didn't make the cut. We got ranked 9th in our region, which is a great honor to be ranked 9th, but it's just too far down for us to have the possibility of getting into the regionals this year. And we got some work to do, and we know we do, but we'll build on this year and move on to next and see what happens.
Well, I'm sure the guys were disappointed, but they'll take it in stride and move on.
I felt like I'd lost another game. I was sitting at my desk during the call with my head down on the desk, and I was like, "Oh man, we just didn't quite do enough to get in."
Yeah. Well, I've been on the tennis committee as well, so I know how difficult it is to see teams that are right on the bubble, and clearly we were one of the bubble teams. And just not get in, there's a big disappointment there. And I've had coaches call me and say, "Why didn't we get in?" And need some clarification and everything. So, well, let me ask you a question. You said this representation from all 4 of the conferences. Is there a team from the USA South other than the the tournament champion, which was Huntington this year? Is there a team that might get a chance to go in and represent
LaGrange? I feel like LaGrange will probably they'll have a shot anyway at getting a regional bid. And one of the reasons they finished second in our conference in the regular season, and one of the reasons why they get in over us, they won 30 games. They beat Emory University, who we lost to 3 times, who's the number 1 ranked team in our region.
And at the time we played them, they were ranked number 3 in the country.
Correct, and they also have some other wins in there against some of the higher ranked teams. So.
Gotcha.
Not that we're not as good as they are, or we don't think that we're as good as they are. They just have a resume, a little bit better resume, and that's what it comes down to when it goes to regional rankings, is the resume that you've put together.
So in this scenario, the USA South's unbalanced schedule in the regular season sort of hurts Ferrum because we didn't have an opportunity to play the top. We didn't play the number 2 team in the region, 2 team in the conference, LaGrange. We didn't play the number 3 team.
We did. North Carolina Wesleyan.
We played them after the season.
Correct.
So
which counts just the same.
Oh, I see.
So we didn't play LaGrange, we didn't play Covenant, we didn't play Huntington, which is 2, 6, and 7. But what really hurt us, and nothing against Greensboro and William Peace, but the fact that they had seasons where they won 10 ball games crushed our strength of schedule. It just crushed it. In fact, before the Greensboro series, we were 33rd in the country in strength of schedule, and after we played Greensboro, we beat them 3 times. Our strength of schedule dropped to 133rd.
Wow, 100 places.
Correct.
In one weekend series.
In one weekend series. So,
wow.
So in that respect, that's what hurt us more than not playing LaGrange was the years that William Peace and Greensboro had this year, and us playing them twice.
So this is a good example of how coaches really need to button things up when it comes time for scheduling and get the best schedule possible to try to get not just the wins, but obviously you want to win, but to really make sure that you have a decent strength of schedule so the end of the year comes, at least you can't be counted out of the playoffs because of your strength of schedule.
Yeah, there's 2 things. You need to play people that are going to win ball games, and you also need to play, it's extremely important to play people that are going to win ball games that play against opponents that win ball games. Your opponent's winning percentage is a big factor in that strength of schedule.
Gotcha. So that's an important. I can see that definitely, and I know that we've been asked about a lot of different sports. Why didn't we get in? Why didn't we get in? And sometimes the strength of schedule, not just of our schedule, but our opponents, has been a big factor for us and everything.
Correct.
So, well, Ryan, I'm real disappointed for you guys because it was a great season. This is one of the funnest seasons I've seen here in my 25 years. Abe Naff's final year, 2007, that was an amazing season, especially after he announced his retirement, and the guys just played out of their minds and won the conference tournament and got all the way to the regional finals. That was one of the most fun seasons I've ever had. This one right here is up with it. It was just an amazing season. You guys had some great games at home and everything, and it was real fun to watch the guys play and everything. Great group of young men. That's the one thing I've got to say about the baseball players here. So respectful, so, at least what I've seen of them and everything, they just seem like such a great group of young men. And the seniors that you have, I mean, you've got some great guys that are going out the door that are going to end up being, businessmen and doctors and lawyers or whatever, and you've got a great group of guys out there.
And when you recruit guys, you recruit the parents too. That's huge for me because the parents are the ones that develop these young men into who they are. So if you got good parents, you're probably going to have good kids.
Well, I've met a lot of the parents of the seniors and everything, and a lot of your other players as well, and it just seems like you got a good group of people and everything. Yeah. So, well, let's talk, since we're talking about that recruiting, talk a little bit about how recruiting's been going for you, just in general.
Recruiting's going good. Of course, every coach, I'm sure, is going to say that until they get their players in here, but we've got some guys that that we identified that we really wanted, and we got some of those guys, and we still got some guys out there that we really want that are on the hook. So
just haven't made decisions yet.
Correct. They haven't made a decision where they're going to go to school. So we're still waiting to hear on those guys, and there'll be a few other guys that'll pop up this summer that will be late bloomers or whatever, and under the radar, and we'll latch onto those guys and bring them in here. But we got a good solid returning group, and we got a good group so far is coming in. We're going to get some more, but we got a good group so far coming in, and so we're excited about next year.
I'm excited about seeing where you're going to build on a great season, and hope these great seasons are going to keep stacking on top of each other, and we'll start making some postseason bids.
That's the mark of a true program and true championship program is if you can put back-to-back years together and do it for an extended period of time.
Well, Ryan, you've been here for 3 years now. You've got 2 USA South championships, 2 Coach of the Year awards, a number of Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Pitcher of the Year things. So it seems to me so far things are going in the right direction for you. Do you agree?
As I tell all the recruits' parents, I can fool somebody for a little while.
Well, let's talk a little bit about summer activities.
Sure.
I know that Panther Field is one that is used by Legion Baseball. I understand you've got a lot of different things, camps, clinics, things like that going this summer.
Each summer it seems like we've added more and more stuff that's coming in here. So we we actually had the Virginia Independent School Conference Championship here in just a few weeks, which typically Billy Wagner's team plays in that. So good luck, Billy, and hope you can get back here.
And where's he at again?
He's at the Miller School.
Miller School, up in Charlottesville area.
Correct.
Yep.
So we've got that in a few weeks. Then we'll have our camp June the 6th through the 9th. Little guys camp, 5 to 12 or 13-year-olds. And then we have a series we have three Franklin County American Legion games here. And then we have, I think, 5, and during the summer, I think we have 5 tournaments here. Impact Baseball coming in, the Swamp Things are coming in, Perfect Games coming in. So it'll be a busy summer for us, along with getting out on the road and recruiting some guys away from home. We'll try to bring some closer to home. Get more kids we have on campus, I think the better for us to showcase our school and to showcase our baseball facility and our athletics facility. I think it's great.
I've always thought anytime you get high school age kids, middle school age kids that aren't even ready to make decisions yet, they see your facilities, moms and dads see the facilities, and they say, hey, you remember that time we went down to that Ferrum College? That was a really nice school. Maybe we ought to go back and look at that school. And I think it's great that you're bringing kids onto your campus and everything early when they're young.
Yeah, not only that, it's great to be standing around the stands and listening to the parents and seeing which way they came into Ferrum, because some of them have some interesting stories about the windy roads coming into Ferrum.
GPS through Callaway, Virginia, coming through all the S curves.
It's pretty comical, because they'll be talking on the phone to somebody else. Did you guys come in through Shooting Creek and blah blah blah?
Oh,
it's great.
Oh, Shooting Creek, that's a great story right there. Yeah. Well, we're excited about seeing those and everything. So there'll be a lot of baseball down here at Panther Field.
Yes.
So fans can come out here and catch some more baseball and everything. And I know you guys have been busy. I suspect that you and Coach Kent, Coach Fouts have now got an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with your families as well.
Yes, thank goodness. My wife was ready for me to be home for a little while.
I can totally imagine that and everything. I know. I'm the sports information director. When I coached tennis, I feel like I was always down here. I lived at the college and everything, so it was always nice in the summertime to get an opportunity to break away and some downtime and everything. So not a lot of it, but you get a little bit more of it.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the show. This week in Ferrum Baseball, we've done it once a week pretty much throughout the whole baseball season. We're looking at now once a month, or so.
Once a month, or maybe once every 2 months, we'll give everybody out there an update on what's going on, and look forward to getting back into the fall and seeing these guys on campus and see what kind of shape they're in. So we'll give updates throughout the summer, I guess, and you and I sit down for 5 or 6 minutes and just talk about what we've been doing.
Great. Well, fans, you can catch This Week in Ferrum Baseball now, not on a weekly basis, but once a month, once every 2 months, a couple times at least during the summer. We'll put it on FerrumPanthers.com, we'll put it out on Facebook, and we'll push it out to Twitter as well. So, Ryan, congratulations on a great year. I know it was a big disappointment not getting to the playoffs, but it was a great run at it and everything, and you got another championship to celebrate. I'm excited about when the fall comes at a home football game, doing the championship ring ceremony for the baseball players and the softball players when they they get theirs as well. So it was a great season. It was a lot of fun. So congratulations.
Thanks, Gary.
Folks, that's a wrap. We will see you the next time on This Week in Ferrum Baseball. For Ryan Brittle, I'm Gary Holden. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.